All right, Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well taught me this truth. And peace and blessing be to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Yashar Gabar, to again for another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying to the elect. All right, so without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. Start off with the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. And it reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, we're approaching those times, man. All right, that hour of temptation, all right, which is the hour of the MOTB. All right, the sea hit being on the scene, man. All right, being tempted. You know, this devil, he wants to take away all your rights, you know, your comfortability, all right, the way of living, all right, just for you to want to receive that sea hit, you know, and that's what whole New World Order, you know, it's about, you know, and he wants to chip you people, man. All right, they just seeing what's going on in the UK, you know, how they cut off all their banks and their accounts, all right, for them to receive their digital ID, you know, and they use these immigrants as a cover up, all right, for them to further do what they want to do, all right, you know, but they use them as a cover up, you know, with saying that they won't be able to, you know, work a job, you know, get licensed, you know, you pretty much outcast from society, all right, without having it. You know, and that's what this devil's going to do. All right, when these things go on in America, to come to America's shores, you know, what, digital IDs, all right, the MOTB, the CHIP, all right, to keep track of you and do all these things, all right, but he wants to cut you off from the society, all right, if you don't have it, all right, and if you receive that MOTB, that CHIP, which is the CHIP, are you going to be destroyed, man, all right? Now it says what? I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Keep thee. All right, who is that? All right, the elect. All right, the Lord is going to keep thee, all right, from that hour of temptation, man. All right, you know, being tempted. All right, not being able to go in the store, buy food, work a job, you know, pay bills. All right, but the Lord is going to, you know, be there for his elect men, you know. All right, the Lord is going to have them protected. All right, if you're a part of that elect. All right, that's why you want to always, you know, keep the faith in Yahweh Hashem Shai. All right, and hold on to this truth, man. All right, because this is all you're going to have in that day. You know, the knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of thy time, as the scripture say, man. All right, so it's true. All right, this was going to keep us stable. All right, Yahweh Hashem Shai. All right, that's what's going to keep us protected in that day. All right, nothing else. All right, your gun, you know, the shit you been stocked up on. All right, hey, it won't work if it's not of the Lord, man. All right. The Lord's not dealing with you. So it says what? I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly, hold that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Yeah, so hold on to what? All right, this truth. All right, and let no man take thy crown. All right, let no one, you know, deceive you. All right, and steer you away. All right, from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, from you receiving that salvation, all right, that deliverance, you know. So what? You keep the faith, all right. You don't be deceived, all right, by the shit that's going on in this world, man. All right, because all this shit through, you know. Don't let nothing get in the way. All right, don't let no fucking woman. Don't let your job, your woman. I said the woman twice. It's a spirit, but you know, don't let none of these things of this world get in the way. All right, if you and your salvation, man. All right. Now let's move on. Let's grab this. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Try to make this quick. Still at the plantation, so bear with me. It says, but fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful to death, and I will give thee the crown of life. Yeah, so fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer, man. All right, and some of us could be suffering, prison time. All right, could be facing death. You know, all these things, all right? But it says, well, fear none of those things, man. You know, this devil, hey, if you're not complying with the ways of this world, all right, his system, what he wants to do, all right, yeah, he's going to want to throw you in jail. All right, he's going to want to make you out to be some type of terrorist, you know, label you just, pretty much an outcast, all right? You know, throw you in jail, you know, and could be facing death, all right? Wants to push you to death, man. All right, but that's why it says what? Be thou faithful unto death. You know? Because what? It says what? That you may be tried. You know, and all these things that's going to happen is what, to try your faith, man. Try your faith. All right, test your faith, man. All right, see if you're going to get weak. See if you're going to give in. All right, you know. So hey, it's all you have by Shimmy Shai, man. All right, that these things is going on. All right, you have to remember that. All right, you know, the Lord is the cause of everything, man. You know, the scriptures speak on how the Lord steers the heart of the king. You know, so all these things is happening because hey, it's the Lord wanted to happen. All right. You know, so you having the faith and belief in Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, you shouldn't be, worried. All right. All right, and that's why it says, well, fear none of those things, man. You know, and if it be the Lord's will, hey, you get that spiritual power. All right, you be, protected. All right, but you have to keep the faith in the Lord. All right, hey, this devil, he wants to come down. He wants to put the squeeze on all you people, man. All right, whether you give in to the system or not. Hey, all you people, you're gonna feel it. This devil, he wants to, persecute Jake. All right, he wants to throw all you Jakes in prison. All right, and then behead you. All right, but we have, the blueprint. All right, we have this truth. All right, and that's why it says, well, hold on. All right, hold on. Cleave into it, man. Cleave into the Lord. Now let's move on. Let's grab this. The book of Sirach, chapter 2, starting verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right, you have to prepare yourself, man. All right, being in this truth. All right. If you come to serve the Lord, sincerely serving the Lord, all right, it comes with temptations, man. All right. All you look around. All right, everything is tempted to have you back in the world. All right. Temptations, man. All right, but you have to prepare yourself for it, man. All right. Now, verse 2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make no haste in the time of trouble. Constantly endure. All right, don't stop, Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thy mayest be increased in thy last end. Yeah, cleave unto Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. All right, the Lord is what going to, increase you in the last end, man. And the Lord is going to increase his elect. All right. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient without a change to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. All right. Yeah, so it's all for you to be tried, man. All right, you may be brought low, and the way things is looking, all right, you're going to be brought low, man. No job, no money, people talking shit, looking down upon you, but hey, we know, all right, we know what's going on, all right, but it says what? Be patient, all right, we had the patience and faith of the saints, all right, which is the Israelites, all right, but of a elect Israelite, man, all right, you have to have patience, it says what? Take cheerfully, be patient without change to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Yeah, so gold is tried. And when you have that pure gold, all right, it has to be, put through the fire, to purify it, man. And that's what the Lord is doing, all right, to his elect, all right. Purifying them, man, through adversity, all right, through all the trials, tribulation you go through, but you endure through it, and that's the Lord building us up, making us stronger, man, all right. And moving on, it says, believe in him and he will help thee, order thy way aright, and trust in him. Yeah, so you have to believe in the Lord, all right. And the Lord is going to steer you the right way. All right? The Lord is going to be with you. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Yeah, so, those of you who fear the Lord, All right. It says, what? Wait. All right. Wait for his mercy, man. All right. It says, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest you fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. All right. Plain and simple, you know. It says, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did ever despise? Whom did he ever despise that called upon him? All right. Yeah, so, hey, the Lord, you know, look at the generation old. You know, the prophets of old, what they was going through. All right. You know, being delivered out of certain situations. You know, in that time, you know, and you're going to see it again. All right. And that the Lord, is dealing, all right, with his men. You know, the scripture says what, then should be known who are my chosen. Why is that? All right, because hey, the Lord is going to be dealing. You know, the Lord is going to be showing miracles, man. You know, having brothers doing miracles. You know, spiritual power, being delivered. You know, being fed. All right. You know, striving. All right, enduring. The Lord is going to be with brothers, man. All right. All right, that's why it says what? Did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? All right. So, you know, hey, these scriptures, all right, these stories that was written was for our learning, all right, to have a faith, you know, to keep that faith, man, faith boosters, you know, to keep us going, all right, seeing what the Lord did, all right, for you know, for the prophets of old, you know, back then, all right, and the Lord is going to, you know, is doing it now. All right? Yeah, and the Lord is doing it now. All right, and these devils, they you know, they have a beef with this truth. All right? They don't care about shit else. They don't care about these fucking Muslims, these Christians, gang banging niggas. You know, they're through already, man. All right, they know where this truth at. All right, but hey, the Lord keeps us protected. All right, this devil knows, hey, when he thinks he's going to roll on the prophets, he thinks he's going to come down upon brothers, you know, and the Lord is going to step in. All right, he knows that. All right. You know, and when he thinks he's going to fill his belly, come with his New World Order, you know, bring in, all right, that C-hip, all right, what's the MOTB? Hey, the Lord, hey, this place is going to be through. All right? This place is going to be through, man. So let's see. I'm in and off with that. All right, stop right there. So, Lord willing, this video will be edifying to the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, say Shalom.